Now being reported that Trump's advisor, Stephen Miller, the mastermind of Project 2025, says that if he had it his way, America would only have around 100 million people that would all look like him.
Please welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVPs. So lovely. I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share. Internet is reacting to the fact that Stephen Miller was that if it should be in his own doings, that America will only be filled with people that looks like him, and they are just gonna be 100 million people. Like, this got a lot of people reacting to the fact that, oh, this man who happens to be advisor and all of that is, have always wanted America to be pictured or to just filled with. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and let's dive into the stitch.
So Stephen Miller only wants white people in America. Are we shocked? The crazy part is everybody knew this man was a white Christian nationalist, and you let him in. He's even more far right and more far white than Donald Trump. Trump even recognized his obsession when it came to immigrants. Stephen Miller said if it was up to him, only 100 million people would be in the country. That is only white people. White people only. Yeah, Project 2025 is looking real fucking real now, ain't it? I wonder who's really running the White House now. Because Trump said that he wasn't going to fuck with farms and hotel workers. But he's in that ass now. And I don't think it was him. For once, I didn't even think it was him. For all you non-white people that voted for Trump, how do you feel now that they're trying to ethnically cleanse us out of the fucking United States? I mean, it's going to be real hard to get rid of black folks because, African Americans in particular, because we ain't got nowhere to go but here. But for everybody else, how the fuck do y'all feel now?
Right now, according to the Wall Street Journal, Donald Trump previously said that if it was up to Stephen Miller, his White House Deputy Chief of Staff, there would only be 100 million people in the United States of America, and they would all look like Miller. Miller is a white guy. In this new explosive report from the Wall Street Journal, it cites a number of White House colleagues of Miller's who are becoming increasingly alarmed at the legal maneuvers he is taking to conduct mass deportation efforts. And Donald Trump himself, according to the Journal, has even ribbed Miller for being, quote, too happy when deporting undocumented migrants from America. But I want you to read this passage with me. He has the president's complete trust. Trump's complained about everyone, never him. Trump may not complain about Mr. Miller, but he does occasionally poke at his obsession with immigrants, a hostility that goes far beyond Mr. Trump's. In one meeting during the 2024 campaign, Trump said that if it was up to Miller, there would be only 100 million people in this country, and they would all look like Miller. This is the man Trump is putting in responsible for most of the policy in America. Spread the word so more people are aware. I'll do a full breakdown on my Substack, linked in bio, so subscribe for free and follow along for more.
I'm a man of faith, Stephen, and I'm certainly not a man of fear. So let's just cut to the chase. Let's not get it twisted. Your administration, this administration, and the people who support it are making history on changing who we are as a multicultural society. Folks like Stephen Miller, Pete Hegseth, and Pam Bundy and others are showing us that they don't believe in the co-equal branches of government or the checks and balances within our society. And the people in the White House, in your little bubbles, you actually think that the aura of your chaos is sustainable. Think about it. Think about it. I want you to think about it. I mean, Trump is 80 years old, and you are in your mid-40s, and some of y'all are in your mid-50s. Y'all actually think, and that's young in the modern era, you actually think it's funny and entertaining for Fox News and other outlets to show how cruel you are, how incendiary you are to the American people. Oh yeah, let's just stick it to the libs. Okay, but think about the sustainability and all the wrongdoing that you're inflicting on the people. And you think that you're going to get away with this? I mean, in life, you always pay the piper, homie. Our history, or the world history, has shown this time and time and time again. You will not get away with what you're doing. The international community are watching us. Our kids are learning from us as the world look on in disgust. My message is this. Enjoy it now, Stephen Miller, because just as history has shown, a reckoning is coming and America is waking up. Okay? And when they do, look out, partner. Last time I checked, you're definitely not Donald Trump's age. Always remember, truth has no party. Be well.
hear me out, y'all. Now, if we want to make some of these issues just, I don't know, go away, just hear me out on this plan here. How about we start referring to one of those issues as, I don't know, President Miller? How long do you think he'll stick around if President Miller was just trending all across this country? I suspect that would get back to someone. He'll get mad, and much like the space guy, he's going to have to go.
So Donald Trump allegedly said in a closed-door meeting that if it was up to Stephen Miller, this pouty gentleman right here, there'd only be 100 million people in this country, and they'd all look like Stephen Miller. So wouldn't that be horrible, ladies out there on the dating app, if this was your only option? Also, what is it with the Millers in there in D.C. being like horrible human beings? All right, let's go back to his younger days. Younger than when he was painting his hair on national television. Just go bald, guys. Bald is beautiful. All right, let's go back to his younger days. First of all, he grew up in Santa Monica, California. You know, I lived in Culver City, a couple miles away. And one thing I did notice when I would go to Santa Monica, one, it was really nice place, lots of money. It just felt very white to me, very white. But so I noticed that as a white guy. I was like, wow, there's not a lot of diversity up here. But it was a pretty area in general. Anyways, in high school, there's a video recently came out, you might have seen already, where he's talking to a crowd. He says, am I the only one who is sick and tired of being told to pick up my trash? We have plenty of janitors who are paid to do this. So he was an entitled little turd. Now he's an entitled big turd. Well, he's still pretty little, but he's older. He's an older turd now. Now in high school, he did have a friend of Hispanic descent, but he ended that relationship. His name was Jason Islas, and he said when he ended the friendship, he said, the conversation was remarkably calm. He expressed hatred for me in a calm, cool, matter-of-fact way. Now, he also wrote an article at 16 on his local website where he expressed contempt for fellow students of Hispanic origin. He said his school was one where Osama bin Laden would feel very welcome due to the amount of Hispanic students. So then he went off to Duke after he graduated there, where he associated with white nationalist thinkers and groups. He worked with the David Horowitz Freedom Center, which is an anti-Muslim hate group, and was associated with Richard Spencer, a white nationalist leader who coined the term alt-right. Then he ended up in D.C. and slowly worked up his way, and now he has way too much power for such a hateful human being. You know, I think when this is all done and over with and we get back to normal, I hope people remember, like, if you see him out on the streets when he's just somebody who's not next to the president, to give him a difficult time. So if I won the lottery and won all this money, I would do the normal stuff of helping family out, you know, have a couple nice things, helping some other people out. But then I would actually pay people just to be annoying to people like this. I'd have spotters, and then they call people like, all right, here's your job. Go out there and just disrupt his dinner out there in public. And if you get arrested, I'll pay for that too and give you a little bonus for making a scene. That's how I would spend my millions. I would want him to never go outside, just stay in his bedrooms where he can't affect anybody.
You ever wonder what happens when a high school troll grows up and gets access to federal power? You get Stephen Miller. And this man didn't just whisper in Trump's ear. He wrote the whole damn playbook. Stephen Miller isn't just some advisor. He's the author behind Trump's most cruel, racist, and authoritarian politics. And he did it quietly, in a suit, all while pretending that it was about national security. You remember the Muslim ban? That was Miller. Family separation at the border? That was Miller. Trying to strip citizenship from immigrants legally living here? Yep, Miller. He's the reason zero tolerance became a government slogan. The man crafted policy like it was fan fiction for fascists. And you want to talk about connections? Stephen Miller was mentored by Richard Spencer, the actual white nationalist who coined the term alt-right. They went to Duke together, and Miller invited him to campus. Let that sink in. The dude writing U.S. immigration policy was once boosted by a literal neo-Nazi. And don't think he disappeared when Trump left the first time. He started a legal group called America First Legal, designed to sue the government every single time it tried to be decent. Trying to stop DEI programs? That's Miller. Attacking asylum protections? That's Miller. Lawsuits to block civil rights policies under the radar? Also Miller. And the scariest part is that he's not a loudmouth. He's a strategist. He's not tweeting insults. He's writing executive orders. He learned that power isn't about being liked. It's about embedding your ideology so deep within the system that even after you're gone, your fingerprints stay on the walls. Stephen Miller doesn't just advise Trump. He built a machine, one fueled by fear, whiteness, and legal loopholes. And it's still running, it's just a little quieter now. So we all know the bigotry has definitely resurfaced. We can see that in the court dockets, the school bans, and the borders. Stephen Miller never left. He just sharpened his horns and put on a nicer tie.
So, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt is blowing a gasket on Elon's app because of Terry Morin. He's an ABC correspondent, and he went on a little rant about Stephen Miller, okay? And I guess he's Deputy White House Chief of Staff, whatever his title is. And I just want to say this. I think it's a little sad that ABC here, they're going to suspend him indefinitely because they have no cojones, right? But I just want to say, actually, let me show you guys what he said. You can read the rest on your own time. I just want to point out a few things, right, where people say Stephen Miller is the brains behind Trumpism. But, Terry says, no. He's one of the people who conceptualize the impulses of the Trumpist movement and translates them into policy. His overall theme here is that Miller, it's not brains, it's bowel. He's filled with pure hatred, is a world-class hater. Here's my point, okay? I don't even want to talk sense. I just want to go off vibes. I'm going to show you a few pictures of Stephen Miller, right? And you're going to tell me if you can't see the hate oozing out this guy right here. Hold on. Other than maybe this picture, even this one is giving creepy smile. Look at this man's face. Look at his face. Look at his face, right? Let's keep going. Just vibes, right? Because that's how we're deciding our elections anyway. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face up there. I mean, I can rest my case. Look at his face next to Bannon. Look at his face down there. Look at very punchable face. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at the one up top where it says Trump's block immigration. That's dark villain vibes. Look at his face. Look at his face, right? So yeah, I understand why his uncle said that he's an immigration hypocrite, because this just seems like the type person who just wants other people to suffer, even though he knows what could have happened to his family that immigrated from Belarus. But you get the point. I'm not tight by this, where Terry says you can see this just by looking at him. You can see that that his hatreds are his spiritual nourishment. He eats his hate. Yeah, I'm with you, Terry.
I went to high school with Stephen Miller, and he's always been an evil little dweeb. Our biology teacher refused to give Stephen permission to handle the animals because she said that he was not fit to interact with living things. So she gave him a Tamagotchi for our animal unit, and he literally just sat in the corner all semester and starved it. One time in English class, when we were reading Fahrenheit 451, Stephen began to weep. When the teacher asked why he was moved to tears, Stephen said that the book burning was so beautiful and that he couldn't hold back. He was also just overall a strange guy. Like, he would take those baby carrots, and instead of like eating them normally at lunch, he would suck on them slowly. And he would eat them all day for like hours. The whole school kind of united around how much we disliked Stephen. Like, he tried to invade the Dungeons and Dragons club and take over their game, but they said they didn't want a totalitarian dungeon master, so the football players came to physically escort him out of the Dungeons and Dragons game. During AP Psychology, we had a whole unit on socially aberrant behavior, and part of that included taking a psychopath test. Stephen was always very defensive about it. He said, "I'm nothing like this. Don't make me take it." And she said, "I won't make you take the test, Stephen, if you stop lurking." At the end of the day, Stephen really never did himself any favors. So he didn't get invited to a lot of parties. In fact, whenever we had a school party, everyone was invited except Stephen because he was so mean. So he would call the police and then show up at the house where the party was taking place. And then the police would look at him and say, "I see why nobody invited you to this party. We're not going anywhere. Please leave, you rat." So even the cops hated him. This is satire, but none of this would surprise me because this man is disappearing people. They are evil. Call your legislator, demand justice.
To you from VidCon in Anaheim. I just read
the Wall Street Journal article that came out last evening, Friday evening at 9 p.m., all about Stephen Miller. It's a whole report on Stephen Miller and how his fingerprints are on everything that comes out of the Trump administration. And they're basically saying he is responsible for this attack on Los Angeles and everything that's going on there, the ramped up ICE raids, everything. And this narrative they're trying to create where they're trying to depict Los Angeles as being in open rebellion against the United States, something that in reality is not happening, does not exist. But that's what they're trying to portray. That's likely part of the reason J.D. Vance was here yesterday, saying all sorts of crazy stuff, making up lies that Los Angeles is in rebellion and in chaos, and there's riots going on and all those sorts of things, which are not happening. They're calling for the removal of our elected officials, our liberal elected officials, our democratically elected officials. It's wrong. But all this is coming from Stephen Miller, and for whatever reason, thinks that he knows what's best for the citizens of California and Los Angeles in particular better than anyone else. He is the person behind this giant push for mass deportations, regardless of whether you are a legal immigrant or not, and whether you're a criminal or not. He wants all of them gone. And to sum it all up, he basically has the most extreme views of anyone in the administration, and really anyone we've seen in our government, perhaps ever. And Trump doesn't seem to separate much from him whatsoever. Trump even said if Stephen had his way, the United States would only have like 100,000 people in it that look like Stephen Miller, a white guy. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Comment.
So the whole of the internet is reacting to the fact that Stephen Miller once confronted with Orange Man and telling him how he actually wish, things to go in his own way, if he should have his way, that the American dream that they have pictured was supposed to be specifically meant for people that looks like him and about 100 million. And I was like, man can never be God. It's not as if people are not aware of this. People are aware of this, but it's just that there is something that is beyond their control. You can't control everything. So this actually gives reasons why there are a lot of massive deportation. This has always been the game. This has always been, what these guys wanted. But it's just that you can't just have it your way all the time. You know, when they say "Make America Great Again," I believe that everybody really understood what they meant. Make American, white again. Make American free and seize again. Make American, to go back to the way at which it used to be. I'm talking about during the time of slavery and all of that. Again, them being at the head and these other people being at the bottom, bottom pit and all of that. But it's just that the world has really, really, the world has really improved. The world is being civilized. Like, there is this teach I actually saw from one of my favorite TikToker. His name is Thomas. I used to stitch his videos here. He was like, he knew deep inside of him that if it should be like a lot of gray and cis-pine colored people always wish that we all can go back to slavery. Like, he was saying it in one of his live, and I was actually agreeing to him. I was agreeing to whatsoever he was saying. Because not only that, these people now review their level of rayances, they even spit it on your face. I am even talking about what happened a month back, where this lady, who happens to be a bank-color woman, was in a children park, and all of a sudden she started calling or using the N word on 4 years or 5 years, and before you know it, there are so many group of people whom the last administration, the last before the last, actually covered their level of races. But these people use the opportunity to show the world that they want, you know, people that looks like me to or people like me to actually go back to, they were just using it, using the N word, the level of recencies that we normally manage before. Like, but now it's as if so many people can be just recencies and nothing is gonna happen. The worst thing that might happen, because thank God for internet, is the fact that they will call you out and you might even have everything. You might lose everything. But the thing I'm trying to say is that the level of recencies that we have right now, it's worse compared to the way at which it used to be. It's as if there are some group of stubborn dogs that is being locked in a room, and all of a sudden these dogs are being laid off, and now they want to show you that they have arrived. So it's not even something that is surprising that he is coming up front to, like, okay, this has always been our plan. It's not a shocking thing, but it's just that you can never have it your way. No matter how you clamor, no matter how you wish for it, I don't think that slavery can even go back. I don't think so. Because of the level of exposure, what we've learned, the historical fact. This is the reason why they just want to hide history locked up from us. Because they don't want us to know what we knew now. And because of we know what we knew now, they cannot have control over everyone anymore, like before. That's why they find every means to cover any source of information. Like, I like the fact that so many people are reacting to this, both and colored people and all of the bees. It's giving me a sense of people are beginning to see the truth. Anyway, lovely, so now just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovely, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do you got a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload. Anyway, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please, lovelies, if you don't subscribe to this channel, do you got a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, leave your thought on what you think, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.